The Joe Rogan Experience.
Check this one out, today's paper, front page of USA Today. Confessions of a lottery scammer. I brought this along. I thought it'd be interesting.
A lottery scammer?
This is a guy, big fat guy, 300 pounds, sitting on his ass in Iowa or somewhere, who was on his device, who figured out a way to intrude on some algorithm, and he started scamming different states. He scammed the state of Colorado out of $4.8 million. And
there he is.
A total of 16.5. Boy, you guys are good. 16.5 million. Now I'm thinking, if this guy had scammed the corporation led by Jose Miguel Battle, he'd be dead. He wouldn't be on the. He'd be on the obituary section.
Look what he says here. It was never my intent to start a full-out ticket scam.
Yeah.
He sentenced up to 25 years in prison.
You could not scam organized crime in this way.
Well, how do you scam lottery? Like,
you figure out how the number is determined, and then you're able to play with it. You're able to play with it. See, in organized crime, you couldn't do that.
I don't understand that. How could he? Like, isn't there just a random system, a computer program or something that runs it?
Yeah, he found some way to tap into that computer system.
To tap into it, you mean to hack into it?
Hack into it and alter the number.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah.
What is fascinating to me is that what you were talking about earlier, what we're talking about like that it gave them an opportunity for hope, and that it was a part of the community.
Oh, yeah.
We're missing that in the West Coast. The West Coast, like off-track betting, there's no fucking off-track betting here. There's a few weirdos that go to the Hollywood Park, but that's gone now. You know, I mean, there's nothing here.
Well, the West Coast never had this.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing like seeing that. Like, I saw that, and I saw what goes with it, and it may sound ooky spooky to most people, but it's not ooky spooky to people who are really, really Sicilian and people who are very
normal.
Cuban. When you're Sicilian in that culture, there's women that you go to and they tell you things. They're witches. They're Sicilian witches. Whatever the fuck you want to. In Sleepers, remember, he goes, bring the eyeballs to this lady.
What's Sleepers?
Sleepers is a movie about 4 Irish kids that later was bullshit, but kind of.
I'm trying to remember that movie.
It's about the 4 kids.
De Niro plays a priest.
Brad Pitt, Jackie Gleason's grandson.
Yeah. Okay, there it is.
Barry Levinson movie.
And then they got the guy on Letterman, and he started backtracking like Steven Seagal about his CIA involvement.
Oh, really?
They said Lorenzo Carcaterra.
Yeah.
He later on became.
He said it was a true story, and it was not a true story.
It was based, but if you look at it, weren't 2 or 4 of those 2 kids supposed to grow up to be Westies?
Yeah, but it wasn't. It's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like the 2 out of the 4 of those guys. What were we talking about?
We were talking
voodoo.
about. Well, you were talking.
Oh, no, they're witches.
And he, in the Cuban world, it's the same thing. I want my kid to go to Catholic school.
Right.
If I play this fucking number today, this is gonna save me. We don't. When you're a comic, you have that hope. Tonight I'm gonna go to the Improv. Jess Sussman's gonna be there. Maybe, just maybe. But it's a ethnic hope that comes back from your country. It's hard to describe. You understand it because your grandmother was a fucking bookie. But if you talk to her on a daily basis about it and why she would play that particular number, like my mom played 517. Those were the last 3 numbers on my dad's gravestone. 604 was some other fucking hallucinogenic she had. If I go like this, and I go, you know what, you're looking good today. Here, go take a yardstick. Most Cubans look at it and go, give me $5 on 253 because it's the last 3 numbers of the 20 you fucking gave me.
Now, is this still going on?
Oh yeah.
The numbers are still going on?
Yeah.
Not as a 10-man office. When I was a kid, it was a 10-man office. Yeah. You were downstairs, you had a bodega, me and you ran the bodega. There's 2 U's and yesterday's paper. All we're selling the Book of Dreams. And then you come in and you give me 604, 517. It comes on 3 sheets of paper with copy paper. So right away, I rip the top one, I give it to you. I keep the other one, and the other one goes upstairs to the department where now there's a big wall with 0 to 9 on the wall, and I park there. So Joe just came up and played 219. There's 2, and all of a sudden there's a list that goes down. I'm a board guy. I just work the board. I got 6 guys with phones yelling numbers on me. Oh, yeah, Rogan fucking just put $100 on that number. That motherfucker killed me last week. Fuck that. Send $50 of that to Miami because I could unload it to create the utopia. You know, when I take a sports bet, I'm taking $500 on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's playing New England. I can't take $10,000 on Pittsburgh and $5,000 on New England. That's not called a utopia. I'm going to make money on the VIG, the 10 points from you losing. So if you bet 10,000 on somebody and you bet 5, I unload 5 to another bank somewhere across town. So this is how, and I mean, when I was a kid, my mother had a bank in the Bronx, and the guy that cooked was Black Mike. He was a Vietnam vet. And I was 5, and he would give me $10 to go get him blackberry brandy. Black Mike cooked Italian food that was so fucking good. It was 1970. Even if you hated black people, you ate his spaghetti. Even Italians came to eat his spaghetti. On Wednesdays, he cooked corned beef. On Wednesdays, he made Cuban food. They have an office, and every phone has a little tape recorder with a wire connected to the phone, so you can't call me and say you played 218.
Yeah, it's recorded.
I'll fucking bust your fucking head.
Yeah, it's recorded.
I'll play the tape for you. So every hour the tapes come around, and I
those
pick up
get
the
destroyed.
tapes, and those get destroyed the week after or that night after the
Everything's
thing.
settled.
But to see those offices in action when you're a kid, and I'm going to get cigarettes, and they give me a 10 to go get a $3 pack of cigarettes, so I keep 7.
Now, did you ever see the money?
What do you mean the money?
Well, the money that was gathered?
I saw how the money would be taken upstairs.
Because that would be a separate location.
That would be a separate location.
Counting room.
Now, there's also, they move locations every week. You also have to stay ahead of the cops. So every week you got a guy like Joe Rogan that just rents apartments for me. So every week we move locations. So nobody ever gets comfortable. We're 3 months at one place, then we're 3 months in another place, then we're 3 months in another place. Because not only do you have to worry about cops, you got to worry about Jamie getting a little fucking cocky.
Right.
Jamie found out from Joe Diaz that they make $40,000 a day. Jamie's going to go get 2 guns. Go get the 2 guns and try to go up there and see what happens. Because they got 2 guys on the 3rd floor that just got 2 guns, waiting for idiots like you to come upstairs to the 4th floor. It was surreal. It was surreal. So in the mornings, my mom would go, you want to go to school today? Or you want to go with Mama to the Mets and go, get some fun? I go, I'm going with you. Because these bookies would all give me 20 and $40. It's part of their good look.
Now, check this out. At the end of the day, every day that this is going on, because betting is going on every day, 7 days a week, this system that Joey's talking about. So money's coming in, a lot of money's coming in. It goes to the counting rooms. So at the end of the day, you got a lot of money at like 200-300 different locations all around the New York area. What they would do is they have people whose responsibility it was to come around, collect the money. That money would go into a van, and that van would have a police escort as it left New York City, went through the tunnel, and in New Jersey, it was met by New Jersey police who picked it up and escorted it from there into the apartments or the houses in Union City where the money was kept.
Wow. So the cops got paid.
So how can I tell you this at the age of 10? I knew this, but I could never tell you because you wouldn't believe me. So I had to keep it to myself.
Well, most of the kids wouldn't be able to shut the fuck up either because they didn't grow up
I
in that
wasn't
culture.
allowed to talk about nothing in my world. In my world, I didn't. Where were you Saturday? We played handball all day. I had to go to a play with my uncle.
Well,
I was
later
in the
on,
Bronx.
you worked for a sports betting place too.
Later on, as I got older, but when I got out of high school, I was such a loser that I went to 118th Street. The guy's name was Chair, Jose Torres and his son. I went to them like a man. They were around the block to this guy named Raleigh and Miguel, and they ran a complete different operation from the corporation. Raleigh's still around. If I had any balls left, I'd go put a bullet in Raleigh's head because Raleigh was tight with my mother. My mother helped get Raleigh started on 118th Street. When my mother died, he got tight with my stepfather, and when my stepfather died, he took that money and gave it to my stepfather's sister. That money belonged to me. So today, I'm still pissed off at Raleigh because when I was a kid, I saw Raleigh every fucking day. He'd give me $50. Every time I went over there, those guys lived their life on a karma-based life. So whenever they see Joe Rogan, come here. You know how many things I did with your father? Come here. Here's $100. Go get your dick sucked. My mother would drive her crazy. Like, how much money did you get today? 200. Give me 100 of that. Because I used to buy knives and fucking stars to throw at people, you know. But that's there where they're very generous, Joe Rogan. You know, you can't do that. When you come over to my house with your daughters, I can't. First thing as they do is put a 50 in everybody's hand. So now the girls know whenever they come over Uncle Joey's, they get a 50.
Right.
So even after you're not around, they'll come over. When they're 14 and they're going to go to Hollywood, they'll come over by Uncle Joey. Where you girls going? You girls got money? Here's 50. So I had people giving me money because it's a karma-based business. The more my mother would hit the number for 10,000, she'd give away 8.
Really?
Yeah, because that's the generosity part of it.